Okay, here we go with Excel Project 2, Part 3. And Part 3, the focus is on formatting the worksheet. So we already have the spreadsheet created, got all our numbers in there, got our formulas in there. Now we need to make it look a little more presentable, a little more readable. So we're going to be changing the theme of the workbook. Do some formatting of the titles, kind of using cell styles there, a couple different cell styles. Again, merging and centering that we did in our previous project. Adding some background color, applying borders to cells. Showing you some options for formatting the way a date can show up in a cell. Again, working with numbers using accounting, comma, and percent styles. We'll show you how to increase or decrease the number of decimal places that are shown with a number. Something called conditional formatting, where cells will do something or look a certain way if they meet a certain rule or condition that we set up. And then lastly, some of the options you have when you need to print some or all of a spreadsheet. And then this will be the end of Project 3. So we are at this point in our spreadsheet. So again, we have all the data put in there. We just now need to make it look a little better. So the first thing we're going to do is change the workbook theme. Okay, so under the Page Layout tab over on the left, there's themes. If you hit the drop-down menu and you hold your mouse over some of them, you can kind of see the change a little bit. You're going to see some different fonts, some different colors, if you can see the email addresses. So each theme, there's more, will kind of make the spreadsheet look a certain way. Okay, some are a little more drastic than others. But the theme we are looking for is at the top here, and it's this one called Ion, I-O-N, Ion. Okay, so you see we have some new font styles and sizes because of that. All right. So next we're going to do some work with these titles. So first thing we're going to do is merge and center the titles across the entire spreadsheet area. So these will be done one at a time. Okay, so Olivia's Art Supply, that's A1 to K1. Go back to my Home tab. Okay, merge and center. Okay, and these need to be done one at a time or it won't work. So now A2 to K2, merge and center. Okay, so they're both centered there. Then I'm going to highlight both of these now. Okay, so click, highlight, and go to your cell styles over here. So your button may look a little different, but we want to find our drop down. Okay, we're going to make these titles. So I'm going to click the title cell style. So it gives that bold, big look. Okay, but then we're actually going to make this salary report in cell B2. No, that's A2, I guess. Well, this one. We're going to make it a little smaller. Okay, so we're going to show you this. These are the increase and decrease font size buttons. Of course, you can always do it like right there. But if I hit this decrease, it went from 18 to 16. So we hit the decrease font size button there. Okay, next, I'm still going to highlight both of these. So we have both our title and subtitle. We're going to go to the paint bucket, which is the background fill color. I'm going to hit the drop-down menu there. Okay, so there's all different colors we can use, as we know. Okay, and the one we are going to use, follow me here, is this blue-gray accent 5, but we're going to use lighter 60%. So blue-gray accent 5, lighter 60%. Okay, so that's what adds that background color to those cells. Okay, next we're going to work with the borders. So I'm going to, again, highlight both my title and subtitle. Just to the left of the paint bucket for fill is our border options. So I'm going to hit the down arrow. And there's all the different borders you can put on there. And what we are looking for is the thick outside border. So thick outside borders. And you click away, you can kind of see that on there. Okay, so I think that's enough for these. All right, so the next we are going to do is our column titles here. So A3 through K3. Okay, and we're going to go back to our cell styles. Okay, and these are going to get a heading 3. So a heading 3 style. So they're just going to make them a little bigger, and they're going to get that red underline. Okay, but then also, shouldn't have deselected them. Select them again if you need to. We're going to do just the regular center align, so it aligns them there. Okay. Okay, so that's these for now. Next, we're going to come down to the totals row. So we're going to format this row here. So I'm going to highlight row 13 all the way across. Even though there's nothing in this cell, we're going to include it. Okay, we're going to go back to our cell styles, and then this is going to get the totals. Kind of makes sense, right? So we get the totals cell style there. So it bolds and puts one single line, then a double underline underneath the bottom. Okay, and then A14 through 16, just these 3 words right there. Okay, all we're going to do to those is a regular old bold, so that those are bold. Okay, let's do a quick save. Next is these dates. Okay, so we have the dates that look like this right now, and we are going to show you some options for those. So I'm going to access the Format menu by going to my Format button here, and then down to Format Cells. Okay, and since we already have dates selected, it knows. Okay, you look at all the different ways you can have a date show up. Do you want the month, the day, the year, the time, any combination in there? Okay, so we want for ours to be displayed like that. So two for the month, 2 for the day, and 2 for the year. And then they should be displayed like that. Okay, and okay, so our dates look like such. And next we're going to come over here to our dependents. So C4, and let's go all the way down to C16. So this whole row, and then again, we're just going to do a simple center align there to align those up. All right, so next we are going to go to E4, which is our hourly pay rate, and go across to H4. Okay, and so we're going to put the accounting format here, but I also want this one to have the accounting format, but not the date and not a percentage. That wouldn't make sense. So I'm going to hold down Control. I'm going to also click Net Pay, so it's selected also. And I'm going to use the accounting number format, so it puts that in there. All right, so then we're going to go through row 5, E5 through H12. It's kind of the same thing. We're going to highlight just like we did here. Okay, sorry, E5 through H12. So I have that range highlighted. Okay, and then I want to hold down Control and do J5 through J12 also. And I can let go. All right, and that's going to get the comma style. Okay, so it has commas and digits. All right, now D4 through D16 are hours worked. We are going to also give the comma style. Okay, got that. All right, so next we have an area that is money here, but we're going to use a different currency style here. So we need E14 to H14, or H16, sorry. Sorry, E14 to H16, there, okay. And I'm going to hold down Control, again get J14 to J16. All right, and then we're going to use, if you hit the drop-down menu here, okay, I don't want to use accounting, and that's what that is. I'm going to use something called currency. Okay, so in accounting, the dollar sign will always be as far left as possible in the cell. Okay, in currency, you can see the dollar sign stays right next to the first digit in the number. Okay, it's really not that big of a difference. Okay, so we got that set. All right, next, let's come to our percentages. So we have our percentages, I4 to I15, I4 to I16. Okay, and we are going to apply the percent style. Okay. We're going to center those. And now we're looking for these buttons right here. Okay, this one says increase decimal, this one says decrease decimal. So in this case, I want to increase the decimal 1, 2 times. So now each number goes out to 2 decimal places. So you can have more or less decimal places show up by using those buttons there. Okay, last piece of formatting, and this is called conditional formatting. So what we want to do is we're going to highlight the hours worked for just our employees here. And we're going to set up a condition where if any of these employees worked more than a certain number of hours, we're going to do something to the cell so it looks different. Okay, so that's called conditional formatting. Okay, so we start by highlighting the rows we want examined, or the cells we want to be examined, and that's these. Okay, then we're going to go to the conditional formatting button and hit our down arrow. Okay, we're going to go down to new rule. Okay, so we're going to create a new rule, and we're going to do one based on format only cells that contain. Okay, you can take a look at all these other ones on your own, but this one is format only cells that contain, and then cell value that is greater than 72. Okay, so that's the rule. Cell value is greater than 72. But then what do we want to have happen? And that's where we have to change the format. So you can change a bunch of different things here. Okay, so the first thing we're going to change is we want the font color of those cells to change to white. So it's just that white background one. Okay, but as you can see now, the font is white, the background is white, so we're going to have to change the fill or the background color. So in those cells, we want to use a background color that is the second to last one in this row. A name doesn't pop up, but it goes to there. Then we click OK. We click OK. And now if we click away, then those cells that have a value higher than 72 now get that formatting condition of white font with that bluish background. Okay, so they stand out. Okay, so that the last thing is then the column widths here. Okay, so we want to do double clicking between our columns so that we get best fits. Okay, so we do it in between. Some columns will be made bigger, some will be made smaller. Okay, so that's the best fit by clicking like that. Okay, but you can also change row heights as well. So see if I take my mouse between the rows, they can change. All right, so I want to make row 3, instead of double clicking, okay, we're going to click and hold down, okay, until we see the height, that number goes to 48. So you got to kind of be careful. 48, okay. Then we're going to go down after 14, and that is going to be 27. Okay, so you kind of got to take your time. Okay, 27, good enough. All right, do a quick save. All right, so the last thing, and this is kind of a long video, is if we want to print this, we would go to File, Print. okay? And we